Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And I'm going to go into the No Kings protest. You know, what it is, what it means, and how it's significant to prophecy, because we know these things must come to pass, right? So just going straight into it, it says the No Kings protests are a series of nationwide nonviolent rallies in the United States opposing the authoritarian actions, immigrations, crackdowns, and policies of the Trump administrations driven by the 50-51 movement. Supporters argue that the U.S. is a democracy, not a monarchy, and that powers belong to the people. It says goal to oppose what organizers describe as authoritarianism, the militarization of democracy, and a billionaire first policy. Right? It says origins. The movement began in June 2025 and continued into 2026 with major mobilizations on March 28, 2026 in cities across the U.S., right? So it's pretty much a protest. And they say non-violent rallies. And we understand these non-violent rallies are going to turn into violent rallies, violent protests, right? These things are going to progress because we understand sedition must come to Babylon the Great. Let me read this. It says, based on the reports surrounding No Kings protests on March 28, 2026, organizers and various news outlets cited this event as potentially the largest single-day protest in United States history. Right, so this is potentially the largest single-day protest in U.S. history. It says, organizers estimated that 8 to 9 million people participated in over 3,000 events across all 50 U.S. states and even several international locations. All right, so that's showing you how serious this matter is getting. The people are waking up to the bullshit, man. And they're angry. They're mad. But why is this happening? Because it's the end of the world. Esau Edom has been found out. And Esau Edom, he's the wicked. And so let's go to Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So this is the people mourning. And they're crying out to their government that they need a change. That this is not what they signed up for. Right? First this administration said, we're not going to have any wars. We're going to stop all the wars. The next thing you know, we're going and bombing, Iran. Right? This is not what the people signed up for, right? You say one thing and you do another. And the people had it with it, especially with, the Epstein files coming out. These people are not being held accountable for their actions. So it's just getting worse and worse. These people are above the law, and the citizens are seeing it. So it's causing them to rise up, man. And we understand that this must happen. Right? This is a part of the signs, the tokens that the Lord said would happen, right? So we're seeing it happen, right? The scriptures talk about how there will be no more vain vision, that the prophecies that have been spoken, you'll start seeing them come to pass. It's like it. Right, you're going to start seeing these prophecies come to pass. And that's what we're seeing. And let's actually get that too. It's Habakkuk 2, and we're going to start at 1. Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer, and what shall I answer when I'm reproved. And the Lord answered me, and he said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come It will not tarry. Right? So the visions are coming to pass. They're not tarrying anymore. The scriptures say how the days will speed up. So with the days speeding up, prophecy is speeding up. Prophecy is being seen. And this is a token of the end of the world, the end of Esau's rulership. Right? So why is this happening? Because the wicked rulers that are running the show, man. Esau, Edom, it says Esau, Edom is pretty much the wicked, the border of wickedness. And of course, he's a thief. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So this is what you're seeing. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing the manifestation of his wickedness. And people are not with it. People are not with it. They want things to change, but they're still protesting. They're still trying to, get things to change when it's not going to change. No matter who gets in office, those elites are still going to control what's going on. And they're still going to forward their technocracy, their New World Order, and that MOTB ultimately. Let's go back. Let's go to Isaiah 19:4. It says, and the Egyptians, which the Egyptians are talking about the modern day Babylonians, talking about the American citizens, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Right, so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a Donald Trump, aka Nero, he's that cruel Lord ruling over the citizens, ruling over Babylon. Right, he's going and he's taking over places. He's kidnapping people, kidnapping presidents, starting wars. But guess what? They're in a situation that they didn't think, the situation they're in right now will be as chaotic as it is now. They're thinking they're gonna go over there and just take over and it'll be easy. But the Iranians are not playing, man. And they're putting up a fight. And this situation, Lord willingly, it leads to World War III. Right? We understand that more things have to happen, but hey, this is a sign. This is what's supposed to happen. Right? Let's go to Matthew 24:3. It says, Matthew 24:3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And we know that world is not talking about the earth. It's talking about an aeon, an age. When is going to be the end of Esau's age? And when is going to be the beginning of our world or our age? Second Esdras, I believe it's 6 and 9 says, Esau, Edom should be the end of the world, and Jacob should be the beginning that followeth. So this end of this world is going to go out valiantly, right? Through protests, through wars, through all types of pestilence and calamities. This is how this world is going to go out. Similar to Egypt. Egypt went out with pestilences, with chaotic events. And, likewise, America, Babylon the Great. Right, let's go. I'm gonna pull up the full chapters 3, 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, so it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and these are just signs. These are tokens. These are events that are going to play out in the end of the world. Right, before Yahweh comes back, these are the things that are going to be going on the earth. And let me see. It says, then shall they deliver you up and to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all the nations for my name's sake. And a lot of these prophecies are dual prophecies. Some of these things happen in the time of 70 AD or before the 70 AD, and some of these prophecies, or most of these prophecies, are going to happen in today's time. Right, so they're dual. The fulfillment of these prophecies didn't happen yet. Some of them happened, but the fulfillment of these prophecies are going to happen in these times right now. And let's actually go to Luke, because I think Luke is kind of what I want. Luke 21. All right, so let's look at Luke 21. Let's see. Okay, let's start at 7. This is Luke 21 and 7. It says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when the things shall come to pass? And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them, but when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Speaking of the great signs, you have the pink moon on the Passover, right? So those are great signs from heaven. But before all these they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and to the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Right? I'm gonna skip down. It says to 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the waves roaring. Right, so when you go to that word perplexity, I'm gonna go into it real quick. Perplexity goes into let's go to the definition real quick. Perplexity, the state of being confused, bewildered, or uncertain due to something complicated or difficult to understand. All right, so that's what's happening with these nations. They don't understand what's going on. They don't know what to do. Right? They start to know that these different powers, and they're involved in wickedness. They're starting to understand it. They're starting to understand though. It doesn't matter who they pick, as their rulers. They're not forwarding their agenda. It's somebody else's agenda being forwarded, which is the elites, right? Their agenda is being forwarded. So no matter what party you pick, it's not gonna be in your favor, pretty much, right? So that's what they're figuring out. That's why they're starting to uprise. It's like, let's go to this is 2nd Esdras 9:1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou see part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world that he made. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall thy will understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? So yeah, it says, and uproars of the people in the world. So we're seeing the uproars of the people. People are uproaring against their governments. They're fighting, not fully fighting yet, but they're about to, right? But they're starting to rally up against, their own government. And we see this is what the scriptures talk about. These are the signs, right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15:15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. Right. So there's going to be sedition. There's going to be an uprising against the government. They're not going to regard their kings or their princes, and they're going to do whatever they want, man. Whatever they feel like they need to do to get what they want, they're going to do it. You know. So this is what's happening now. This is the start of what's happening now. A great protest against Babylon the Great and the administration. Right? Yep. Read that one more time. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power." And let me get this real quick. Sedition, the act of inciting a disaffection, insurrection, or rebellion against a state or constituted authority through speech, writing, or actions. Right? So this is what's going on at this current moment. Right? They're rebelling. Right? Right now it's through speech. You know, they're gathering up. You know, they have the No Kings protest with a whole bunch of people making that the name, making the letters. But eventually it's going to be violently, you know. Yeah, so I wanted to go into what that meant. It says, "Many shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Right? So that's what's coming up. And so, you know, we say all this to say that the wicked is in power. The wicked is in power, and this is why the earth is out of course. This is why the people are mourning, and this is why these big protests are happening. But if the righteous was in authority, then everything will be in a better state, you know. And that's why we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to come, so he can put the world in back in order. You know, the world can rule in righteousness, so everybody can benefit. You know, the earth itself can can benefit, because we know that, you know, Esau Edom, he's destroying not only the people but the earth. You know. You know, his thoughts of ruling the world forever and ever is pretty much corrupting his actions. And so he's moving sloppy, and he's not only destroying the people, but he's destroying himself. So this is we'll bring out a few more scriptures. This Ecclesiastes 10:4. It says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable." All right, and that's Yahweh Shai, and the 144,000, which will be profitable on the earth, right? Because we're gonna put everything back in its correct order. Right now it's out of order. Everything is messed up. You know, in the hands of the wicked. You know, everything's gonna be in a wicked vibration, right? So eventually, you know, that has to come to an end, right? It says the wealth, the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. And we go to that word welfare, it goes into good conditions, right? So when the world is in a good condition, nobody's going to be protesting, nobody's going to be trying to uprise, because when the wicked or when the righteous are in authority, there's no reason to want to buck up unless you're just rebellious. And those people will be destroyed. You know, if you come against the kingdom of heaven, the rulership, you're going to be destroyed, because there's no reason to protest a righteous kingdom when everything is going to be in order, right? If you're protesting, you're just protesting because, you know, you're not in power. You want to rule, and that's not going to happen, right? Once the true men are in the true men of the Lord are in power, and that's it. It's going to be a forever kingdom. They're going to forever reign the earth in righteousness, right? Let's see. I believe that was it right there. right? So I just wanted to go into a few precepts going into, the No Kings protest and what it means. And it just shows that we're further, coming further along in prophecy, man. So, Lord willingly, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Until next time, Lord willingly, Shalom.